So this conversation today is prompted by a conversation that I had with a client or a few clients recently. And I asked them to please slow down. And when I asked them this, and we started having the conversation, I realized they had no idea how to do that. They didn't understand what I was asking them to do. So my question to you is, when is the last time that you simply took a moment to be present? I believe that being present is one of our greatest superpowers and we don't use it enough. And I was just on a call today and it was said that we have the attention span of less than a goldfish. So we have an attention span of about 6 seconds. So if you're still listening to this video, then congratulations. You probably have an attention span greater than most people. But stick with me. You know, we're really running from one thing to the next every single day. I know you're as busy as I am, right? And then we feel like we're lost. We don't have control over our lives. And then we kind of blame this never-ending hurry to like check things off the to-do list. And rather than taking the time to simply quieten down and get still in the mornings, we rush into the next thing, ill-prepared for our day. And a lot of times we aren't sleeping good through the night. And we really don't have joy, and we expect these things to just come naturally. But what happens when we don't start our day off right is we start to rush even in the mornings, and it impacts our entire day. You know, we're ill prepared. We don't prepare our lunch, so we end up munching on crackers and vending machine snacks, and may even go to a healthy-ish looking restaurant, right? And then we have kids, so we end up having family time at dinner. And yes, we'd love to cook this great, wonderful, healthy meal, but we end up going through the drive-thru because it's really all we have time for. So we put dead food in our bodies, expecting it to give us life. And then we look around the house. Well, the house is a disaster. Nobody offers to help. And then we start wondering how we could possibly go through so much laundry, how the sheets are never washed, and how we have stacks of dirty dishes when we didn't even eat at home today, right? And then we have this stress, and it just spirals and spirals and spirals into this chaotic day. And we're running from one appointment to the next. We feel like we're barely keeping up, and we want to live that life of purpose, but we're doing our best just to keep up with the day-to-day demands. And we know our bodies deserve more, but our unhealthy bodies remain in the back of our minds all day long, and we're just not really certain how to take care of that as well as keep up with those daily tasks. And I know how that is because I've been there. And we push health to the side one more time, saying, hey, I'm going to do it later. Right now, I just don't have time. And what happens next is that we end up sick. We go either into the bed for a week, we're sick, we've got viruses, we've got whatever illness has come around, or worse, we end up in the hospital. And illness then becomes our wake-up call because it's something that we've been putting off for a long time, and it's something that attempted to slow us down, but we just didn't pay attention. So now everything's an emergency, right? All the things that we didn't have time to do before that were keeping us sick, it's much worse now because we have to do it, and we can't do it because we're sick. So, and I remember thinking back to all these times in my life where I felt like everything was falling apart. And trust me, today I have those moments. But there are a lot of times when I feel like my life is kind of falling together. And the difference to me is that it's not really what's taking place in my life, because my schedule can be just as busy or not as busy, but it's the way that I feel is really dependent on whether or not I'm doing things to take time to sit back and get quiet and really slow down and just receive what's going on in life. And I see this happen so clearly in my own life right now, but I also see this happen in the lives of my clients. And I want you to know that health is in everything that you do. So when you level up in your health, you're going to feel better in every other area, and it's going to impact every other area of your life. And it's going to have a negative impact or a positive impact depending on your view, really. And I just want to give you a few examples today of things that I've just been noticing and share with you some of those areas where I've seen health impact other people's lives and even my own at some point. And one area is finances, because when we're healthier, our brains are going to work better. I talked about, getting sick, right? So you're not going to have to call into work sick because of exhaustion or because you do get sick. And that could even lead to a raise, right? Think about your relationships. When you're healthy, you're going to be feeling better in your health to maybe be intimate with your spouse. You're going to be able to finish your workday with energy. So that means you may have time to enjoy your friends. You may have time to spend time with your kids and give them the love that they deserve. Cook that healthier meal for them, right? And think about your physical body. And I know that sounds a little bit obvious, right? Health, kind of translates physical body pretty easily. But have you ever thought about something like just simple, like rolling down the hill with your kids? I remember a testimony from a client. That's one of the things that she said she did first when she actually felt good enough to do that in her body, was she was able to roll down the hill with her kids. But it's because those opportunities to enjoy life, they really open up to us and even impact things like our emotions, because there's a huge connection between your emotions and your physical body. And if you're feeding your body with junk, then it's going to eventually impact your brain in a negative way. And things like poor diet and lack of exercise, they're both scientifically proven that they are associated with poor mental health. So can you see that your health is literally impacting every area of your life? And what are you giving up that you could be experiencing today because you're pushing your health to the side? So if I can convince you of one thing today, I want to sell you on the fact that you need to slow down. Recently, I went on a personal adventure and I called it 30 Days of Yoga. And it really transformed me because I felt like it was a way for me to really shift into something good, shift into something new. And I started to slow down a lot more. I started to take time to really appreciate nature, to really hear nature, to really submerge myself in it when I went outdoors. And I didn't realize at the time, but there was a time in my life when I was literally just checking things off my list. And I was doing the right things. I was expressing gratitude. I was doing meditation. I was doing all those things, but I wasn't really immersing myself in that moment. And it really makes a big difference when we truly learn to be still, we learn to be quiet and get in that moment versus just checking it off the to-do list. So when we learn to slow down, we're going to realize that life really is not passing us by the same way that we think it is. We're hurried and we're stressed because we're not taking the time to even decide what is most important to us, right? We're just kind of doing to do. And when my clients tell me they're stressed, that's one of the first things that I do is I ask them, what does your morning routine look like? Are you meditating? Are you praying? Are you getting out in nature? Or doing something that is more calming and centering and grounding to your soul? And I've had clients respond, yeah, I'm doing all these things, but I'm still so stressed. I'm stressed to the max. And my next question or piece of advice that I give them is, are you doing this out of duty or routine? And I encourage them to truly immerse themselves into that experience, into the emotions, get lost in the activity. When is the last time you went for a walk in nature and actually got lost? Like, that's what I want you to experience. To not care about anything else in the world. Set a timer if you have to, but don't care about anything else going on in the world. Just immerse yourself in it. And I see that two people can be on a very similar health program, right? They can be on the same routine, but they can have two different experiences. And this all has to do with the way that they approach those daily routines. Because when you immerse yourself in this healthy lifestyle, then you're not going to have to worry about yo-yoing up and down on the scale. Cheat days, they're not going to be a problem anymore because you're not going to feel guilty about what you choose to eat. And you're going to notice that those stressors start to look a little bit less stressful. So this is exactly what I help my clients do. And with my help, so many of my clients have been able to go from chaos to peace in their health so that they can make a bigger impact in this world. So if you're ready to invest in your future self, I want you to consider this. Just number one, begin by slowing down. And whatever resonates with you in this message today, I want you to take action on it. Because over the past month, I've seen 3 different people enter into the hospital because they said no to their health and they avoided slowing down. Not only are they still sick, but it's impacting them financially as well because they have hospital bills piling up. So what if you could spend less money and actually get well? Would you do that? That's my question to you today. So I want to encourage you to just start slowing down with me today and experience joy and wellness that is available to you, and you are totally worth every minute of it, I promise you. So I hope that you guys feel encouraged after this message today, and we'll talk to you soon.